Hi, as we have already installed Puppet Master and Puppet Agent on our virtual machine and also added Puppet and Puppet Server to the path, today we are going to include Puppet Master IP address in the host file of Puppet Agent and then learn how to sign certificates received from the agents. Let us explore the Puppet directory. cd into /etc/Puppet Labs. List the directory. The code directory contains our environment. The Puppet directory contains Puppet configuration files. We have to edit the puppet.conf file within Puppet directory. This file contains our Puppet configuration. Whenever we edit this file, we have to reload our Puppet server for the changes to apply. The links given here contains the basic example setup of puppet.conf file. We will use one such setup so that you get more familiar with the Puppet documentation. Let's move on to documentation and find the example code. As you can see in examples, we have agent configuration and master configuration. As we are changing puppet.conf in our master, so we'll copy this and add it to our puppet.conf file. Let's change it to main and then add the cert name. Cert name is actually that is signed by the Puppet server, and I'll show you how the cert name is how you can list the cert name. And we are changing the cert name to puppetmaster.shubham.com, and the server, this is the server that Puppet will look for. By default it is Puppet, and we will add this server to the host file later in this video. Let's add the environment path. We'll have our environment path in /code /etc/puppet labs/code/environments. We will show you the directory of where the environment is listed. Next we will add base module, and for the base module I'd like you to see the documentation. So let's move on to the documentation and add the base module. I'm trying to get you familiar with the documentation so that if any new concept or if any new version of Puppet comes, you can easily adopt it. Documentation is the best place to learn any new language or any new technologies. Let's copy this and add it. I think everything is good. So let's save this file and try to reload our Puppet server. If everything will be fine, Puppet server will reload automatically. Let us change the base module to module path so that I can show you how you can trace the error occurred while changing the Puppet configuration file. If you add something wrong, you will be able to trace the error. Let's see. When I try to reload, it failed. It exited with code 6589. Let's see the logs why such error occurred. So what we will do is we will journal ctl -u Puppet server. This will show us the logs of Puppet server. As you can see, there is an error. The Puppet server failed to start the service. The reason behind this is Puppet cannot set module path settings in puppet.conf file. We need to change module path to base module path. Module path is actually set in environment.configuration file, that is in the environment/production/environment.conf file. So let's add the base module and save it, and now reload the server. Server is reloaded and everything is working fine till now. You can check the status using journalctl or systemctl command. As you can see, starting Puppet server service. So there is no error, Puppet has started. You can also check it using systemctl status puppetserver command. This will show you that the status is active. Puppet server is active and is running. Let's move on to the code directory and let's explore what is there in the code directory. You'll find two things: environment directory and modules directory. The modules directory here is the base module directory, and the environment is where we will have our manifests and module files that we are going to use. By default, the production environment is created. You can create some other environment also. Here you can see the environment.conf file. Let's look into it, what is there. In the environment.configuration file, we have to give the path of our module. So here we are going to use module path, and also we'll use manifest. We can use /module, or we can directly write modules. If we are writing directly modules, it will look in for the module directory in the current working directory. Change the manifest path to manifests. This means the manifest for this environment is located in this current directory. We are not going to change environment to timeout, as we have already done it in the puppet.configuration file. You can see manifests and modules are there. These two directories are there. At present, these two directories are empty. As you can see, list modules is giving us nothing, and similarly list manifests will give us an empty file. Now let's try to list out all the certificates. Puppet server CA list will give us non-signed certificates, while Puppet server CA list will all will give us all the certificates. There was an error while I tried to do this. Let's debug the error. This is the best thing I love to do. I have tried to check the logs, there was no problem in the log. Then let's try something else. We have added the server in puppet.configuration file. The server name was puppetmaster.shubham.com. So let's try to ping it. Ping is working fine. So now what? We need to have something else to check that what the problem is. I think I got the problem. The problem is we have not set the hosts. We have not added puppetmaster.shubham.com in the hosts file. So we have to do it. So as you can see, there is no puppetmaster.shubham.com. So let's edit the /etc/hosts file and add the Puppet Master and the IP address related to it. We can find the IP address in our virtual machine. So let's move to Azure and find the IP address there of the Puppet Master. Currently we are working on master. So you can find that 10.0.1.4 is the IP address. This is the private IP address. as we are working on one virtual machine, in a VPC environment, we can connect with one subnet to another using private IP address. We don't need the public IP address to connect with them. Our Puppet server is running on 8140 port. So let's allow the access of 810 port. We can do it in the networking section and add inbound rules. Just change the destination port range to 8140 and protocol to TCP. And let's only, as we are working in virtual networks, so we'll add the destination to virtual network. That is, anyone in the virtual network can access this port. Change the port name to Puppet server and add this. This will take few seconds. And now I think we have set up everything in Puppet Master. So we'll go and reload our Puppet server. First, let's test the connections. Well, we have different way to test our connections. So let's test if Puppet Master is properly working or not. First, we can do it using telnet command. Telnet DNS followed by port number 8140. As you can see, connected to Puppet Master means everything is working fine. We are able to connect with our port. We can also use curl command to test if things are working or not. Colon 8140, and yeah, it's working. It is returning some binary output file which our terminal is not able to show. So let's reload the Puppet server now, and let's have a final look at and verify our puppet.configuration file and see if everything is okay. Certname, server, environment, DNS alternate names, environment path, basement. Yeah, everything is good. So we are good to go. Now let's list all the certificates. As you can see, there are two signed certificates. One is puppetmaster.shubham.com and another is generated by default while I installed Puppet in this virtual machine. We can remove this as we don't need it. We already have our own certificate for this virtual machine. So we can remove it using clean command. Puppet CA clean -- shirt name and the name of the certificate. As you can see, we have removed it and there is no unsigned certificate. We are only left with the signed certificates. You can find the removing code in the description below. How to remove a certificate, you can find the code in the description. Now let's set up our agent. So first we'll do is we'll change the puppet.configuration file. Oh, sorry, before that, let's add the host to our Puppet agent. The host name was, I think, 10.0. something. So let's verify it once in the Puppet Master. Yeah, just copy it and paste it in the Puppet agent. Save the file and exit the window. Now let's change the puppet.configuration file in agent. Puppet labs, puppet.conf. We have added this template from the documentation itself. Let's change the certificate name to puppetagent.wiki.com and server to puppetmaster.shubham.com and let everything as it is. Save this file and exit the window. Now let's test our configuration. As you can see, that could not fetch certificate from CA server as we have not signed the certificate on our master, so this warning is shown here. So let's go and sign the certificate on the master. As everything is good, we'll do puppet server CA list, as this will give you all the non-signed certificates, lists of non-signed certificate. And you can see here puppetagent.wiki.com is the non-signed certificate and we have received it in the master, and now we can simply sign it using puppet server CA sign -- certname equals to puppetagent.wiki.com. Has successfully signed the certificate, and now we can just test it that okay, we have signed the signed certificate using -- list -- all puppet server CA list -- all, and you can see here that we got puppetagent.wiki.com as our signed certificate. Now let's move on to agent and retrieve the catalogs by sending the facts, and this we can do it using puppetagent -t-v -- or you can write puppetagent -- test - verbose. As you can see, we have successfully applied the catalog in 0.03 seconds as there were no site.pp file found. So this happened so quickly. In the next coming video, we are going to add site.pp file and we will upload the NTP module to this agent configuration file, and also we'll have some more configuration of the pub agent file in the next coming up video. Thank you.